messages. That's right, once again, Trump's biggest enemy is reality. How's it going, everybody? Hunter Avallone here with Occupy Democrats. Welcome back to another video. Now, Charlie Kirk's death has taken the world by storm, and of course conservatives are taking every opportunity to point the finger at the left.
How would you analyze what you're hearing in response to this murder from the left?
From the left? I mean, just listening to the clips you played from the Trump administration, we're in a very dark moment. It's a very McCarthyite moment right now. I've been listening to your show. You made a lot of good points. The biggest point I think you've glossed over is the crackdown on free speech, this targeting of people for their views. I thought Charlie Kirk was supposed to be a free speech martyr. Why are the right using his death to crack down on free speech and American rights and go after this amorphous left? J.D. Vance lied today on the Charlie Kirk show when he said the statistics are clear that this is a left-wing problem. It's the exact reverse. Right, exact reverse. You look at the ADL Center for Extremism, which looked at 444 people killed by extremists between 2013 and 2022, 75% of them by the right. You look at the University of Maryland study that was done for their terrorism center, which found that from 1948 to 2018, right-wing extremists more likely to carry out violence than left-wing extremists. You look at the head of the FBI, who Donald Trump appointed, Chris Wray, who said the number one domestic terror threat in this country comes from religious and racially motivated extremists, specifically white supremacists. You can keep going. The National Institute for Justice found that the majority of incidents since 1990, violent terroristic acts were right-wing extremists. The single biggest day of political violence, Chris, in our lifetimes in this country was January 6, 2021, when right-wing extremists attacked the Capitol, injured police officers. They were ideologically motivated. You and I agreed it was an insurrection at the time. So it's bizarre for Vance to go on TV or go online and say the exact opposite of what both the official statistics say and the think tanks say. All of our evidence tells us. I mean, there was a Democratic lawmaker, Chris, I don't know how many times we have to say this, who was murdered in her home with her husband in June by a Trump supporter. And Donald Trump today said, who? When he was asked about it, he said, who?
Mm-hmm. We also now know a little bit more information about the shooter and about the charges being brought forward.
Count 1, aggravated murder, a capital offense for intentionally or knowingly causing the death of Charlie Kirk under circumstances that created a great risk of death to others. Count 2, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, a first-degree felony. The state is further alleging aggravating factors on counts 1 and 2 because the defendant is believed to have targeted Charlie Kirk based on Charlie Kirk's political expression and did so knowing that children were present and would witness the homicide.
And now Trump is panicking after Charlie Kirk's shooter's private messages just leaked. That's right, take a look at today's top story. President Trump is in panic mode after new leaked messages from Charlie Kirk's accused assassin, Tyler Robinson, flatly contradict his claims that Antifa or the radical left were behind the killing. In private Discord chats obtained by reporter Ken Klippenstein, Robinson directly admitted to the murder, telling his friends, "Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU. I'm sorry for all of this." The messages show a young man who is largely apolitical, spending most of his time talking video games, camping, and joking with friends. This is a direct blow to Trump's narrative. For days, the president has tried to pin the assassination on shadowy left-wing extremists, but the evidence doesn't match the talking points. Robinson's friends describe him as quiet, outdoorsy, and into guns, not as a partisan crusader. He rarely mentioned Trump or Biden at all. Even more embarrassing for Trump, key details that were spun as radical left calling cards now look very different. For example, the phrase, "Hey, fascist, catch," carved on a bullet casing was widely reported as proof of left-wing ideology. But Robinson's friends say it was just a reference to the video game Helldivers 2. Even the three arrows symbol federal agents thought signaled Antifa was in fact another gaming reference. The FBI director has suggested Robinson leaned left, citing his family's remarks. But those closest to him say his family didn't know the whole picture, including his relationship with a transgender partner and his bisexual identity aspects of his life that don't fit neatly into partisan categories. The bottom line, Trump's attempt to weaponize this tragedy against his political enemies is collapsing under the weight of leaked evidence. Far from being an Antifa operative, Robinson appears to have been a deeply conflicted but largely apolitical young man, and now the pressure is squarely back on President Trump to explain why he misled the public and to answer whether his own rush to blame the radical left was about protecting the truth or protecting himself.
Good evening. This is Elder G again. You see how it works, right? These prejudiced white men, they put all that pressure, all that hate, they put up on their sons. And when their son don't want to hate, they just keep on putting pressure on him. Scaring them with black and brown people. Scared to admit that he gay. Think about this. White prejudice of America. Think about this. You are willing to sacrifice your son because of hate of black and brown people. You done destroyed this young kid. This young kid don't know nothing about no racism except what he was taught by his friends and the people that's around them. Just think about how strong that hate is. That you'll let your own Medicaid be taken away. You'll let your own food stamp be taken away. You'll let your kids not eat breakfast because you don't want no minority to eat free. You don't want no minority to have medical care just because they can't afford it. Just think about the kind of hate that they are willing to destroy their own son. At Sandy Hook, right? You give up your own son in the black church, right? You give up your own son to try to assassinate Donald Trump, which I believe was a setup. I don't believe that assassination attempt was real. I think it's a setup. Just think about all the young black kids that assassinated people in because of hate. Just think about that. Just think about what's the difference than ISIS strapping a bomb to his own child and send him into a building to blow it up? What difference is raising the man that shot at Donald Trump and get his brains blew out because he was radicalized by the right? He was a pawn. He was somebody that they was willing to let go. And look at this kid right here. He trying to keep his homosexuality a secret, and he hear his daddy and he hear the president and the vice president, all these people in high government trying to exterminate transgenders and gay people. Trying to exterminate brown people, Mexicans, people from El Salvador, people from Haiti, trying to exterminate them and put them in concentration camps. You're gonna lose this time. See, the black and the brown people, we always knew that this day would come one day. We already know that when the white people, the president white people became the minority, you're already a minority around the world. You only like around 10%. So you already know that you're already outnumbered. 9-1. You already know you're outnumbered. Okay? So now, the only way you can win, you got to use a nuclear bomb and kill everybody, every race, including you. So what would be the purpose if you're just going to kill everybody and we all going to be dead? But you know ain't no 10% is going to be no 90%. You know if you attack black and brown people, you're going to have to attack black and brown people all the way around the world. All the black and brown people is going to come together all the way around the world and wipe out that 10%. We don't want to do that because we don't want to exterminate nobody. We believe that everybody, God gave this land to everybody. God gave freedom to speak to everybody. God gave the freedom to assemble to everybody. God gave the freedom of the press to everybody. God gave the freedom to petition our government to everybody. God gave the freedom to protect the Constitution. The black and the brown people is going to protect the Constitution, which is our freedom. The black and brown people is going to protect that all the way to war. So you can run around with your head all puffed up and thinking that you bad. Got Charlie Kirk AI impersonating an angel. Got AI impersonating. Got Jesus coming down with every time Charlie Kirk is laying down and he draped in a flag on the AI. And Jesus come down and just pick his baby up in his hands and take him on to heaven. And then they got another AI where Jesus is standing at the top of the step with the pearly gates. And Charlie Kirk is walking up the stairs, wrapping his arm around Jesus. How can someone think another race is inferior to him? And think female ain't good for nothing but a sexual partner and a cook and a clean a house? That ain't the God I read. And I read the same Bible that they came here with, the Pilgrims. I read the King James Version of the Bible. See, I believe in all the books that's in the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation. So, I don't know what they're talking about. I know the Bible said every one of us is the descendant from Adam and Eve. That's how we got here, because Adam and Eve had sons and daughters. And then they married and they had, and so on and so on and so on. So we all descended of Adam. And then after the flood, when the flood came, there was only 8 souls saved. Only 8 people were saved during the flood, where it rained 40 days and 40 nights. And they said that was 8 souls on the ark. It says Noah and his wife, Shem, Ham, Japheth, and their wives. So everybody is living right now. Everybody, every human being, no matter what color your skin is, every one of those human beings is descendant of Noah and his wife and their sons. God don't have no respect for person. We're all human beings. And God ain't going to treat nobody no better than another one. When somebody's hungry, God is going to feed them. When somebody is thirsty, God is going to give them something to eat. When somebody is a stranger, God is going to get somebody to take them in. I don't know what them white folks talking about. But I know one thing. The black and the brown is not going down without a fight. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because these prejudiced white people think that they special. They getting ready to find out that they are not special. They getting ready to find out that they are not the chosen people of God. They are not the Hebrews, the descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and so on and so on and so on. We know that those are black and brown people. We know that beyond a shadow of a doubt. And we know that you know that. God people was made out of clay. Now, study history and go look and see what clay looked like. Just look and see what clay looked like. Find me Caucasian people in the Bible. From Genesis to Revelation, show me some Caucasians. All the 7 wonders of the world, right? All those things was built by black people, by black and brown people. The great pyramids of Giza were built by black and brown people. Washington, D.C., all the capital and all that, all that was built by black people. The railroad was built by Asian people. They was good at building railroad, and they still is. They got more advanced railway than we do. So I don't know where white people come from. They sure wasn't in the garden. I'm not knocking white folks because we all descendants of Noah. We all descendants of Adam and Eve. It's why you live in the climate. See, what we live in desert area, we need the pigment in our skin to protect us. But see, our skin, no matter what environment we in, our skin will protect us. The Caucasian, it won't. You're going to get skin cancer. You're going to get burned. See, God made us to fit in every territory. See, a black woman is the only woman that can have every race of baby. A black woman can have a Caucasian baby. A black woman can have a Chinese baby. See, white people can't go nowhere but white. If you put 2 white people together, it ain't gonna be nothing but white children. But there's some black people that mix that they can have a white offspring. It can be 2 black people together, but somewhere down the line, there's some white people that been involved, like that interracial marriage. But the 2 people are black, but they can still have a white baby. The only race that can fit in any kind of weather and survive from cold to medium to hot to desert. Black people is built to endure. You know why? Because we are the children of the Most High God. If we believe in God and follow God and let Jesus lead us and guide us in the way that He would have us to go, see, this world is going to be a better place. Who do you think can give you a utopia of all people coming together, where Jesus said you're going to beat your swords into plowshare and the lamb is going to lay down with the lion? Those prejudiced white people is not going to be able to do that. It's the black. I think that's why God planted us here in America. So we can learn everything. So now we know. We know that we are the chosen people of God. The black and the brown. Ain't nothing wrong with the white people. God loved them too. But I'm saying that when God first made Adam and Eve, it wasn't about all different colors. It was one color. Adam and Eve was the same color because they said they took Eve from Adam's rib. So there wasn't no race. Race only came because of where we live and the climate that we lived in. If the white people want to go extinct, no black and brown people is trying to make the white people extinct. But if the white people keep on coming, like they did against Spain when they were forming the colonies, like they did against the Native Americans when they took their land, and when they slaughtered the Mexican and took their land, and when they brought the black people over here as slaves, and when we had the Civil War, and when they went to war with their own country, Britain, we know exactly who you are, and we are prepared for you because we know your MO. Your MO means the method of operation that you use. We know your MO. We ready for it, but we don't want war. We want peace. We don't want to call upon our black and brown people in Africa and all those. We don't want to have to resort to that. But if we have to, we will. We will. We want love and we want peace and we want long suffering. But in order for us to survive, in order for us to protect our race, we would have no choice. So we begging you, on our knees, we begging you, stand down. Stand down. Don't make us fight. But if we do have to fight, we're going to fight to win. We're going to fight to win.